There you go. There she
Yeah.
is.
Here I am.
Okay.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi,
Okay.
everybody.
So how was your week, Carol?
My week. My week, I've been doing a lot more drawing. I'm
Good.
calling it drawing now instead of doodling.
Okay. Good.
And I feel like I'm really, I don't know, it's resonating with me more than it was in the beginning. And now it feels like something really important that I'm doing for me.
Nice.
So let's see if I can.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
Doing some weird things because of the sun, I think.
Yeah, but I
Oh, yes.
see, it's neuro art with values and
Yeah.
form.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's, I mean, I'm really, they mean something to me. It's like when I'm done with them, like this one I did after the election.
Uh-huh.
And so, it was like seeing me in this surround, and this is all that's going on inside me.
Nice.
All of the angst and non-angst, and so that was a really cool, and that was really fun to do because it's like a self-discovery, really. And then this,
As art should be. Oh, wow.
get the, it's not very clear.
But
Yeah.
we still can get an idea. And
Yeah.
the variety of sizes is really nice in that.
Mm.
So this was like a really different one than the other ones that I've done, partly because there was such a strong triangle effect, and I happened to make that worse by adding a line. And then I spent the rest of my time like balancing it out, hopefully.
Well, I think it really worked well. And that triangle, move it back just a little bit because it's a little blurry. I don't know if it will come into focus more.
It doesn't
No,
appear to
maybe
be coming into focus. I
no.
have pictures of these now, so I'm going to post them.
Okay. I don't know, Jill and Suzanne, what do you think? I like the variety of that shape, that triangle in the back. I find really transforms it and makes it say something a lot more than the organic movement would say on its own.
Uh-huh. Well, it was fun. It felt like a somewhat of a breakthrough, of which I can't really say what it is.
That's fine. It's visual. You don't have to put it into words.
And this one I did yesterday. Um, after I had.
Can you describe, please, how you set about doing it, how you do them?
So with this one in particular, which is basically my process for all of them, I sat down and I just close my eyes and I make lines on the paper. So I'm not looking at it. It's similar to what, Chris, you do for other exercises where you're closing your eyes and then doing marks. So I make the marks, and I'm always amazed that it feels like I'm making such big marks. And when I open my eyes, they're small marks. So that's fascinating to me. But so I make the marks, and then I start rounding all the intersections. No, we can. So even places where there's like not an intersection but a hard corner, I'll soften it. And then after I do that with all of the lines, I start just responding to however I'm feeling about making a pattern. And I start patterns and they just evolve.
They are very beautiful, your patterns. I like them.
Yeah.
They are almost as sophisticated as your mandalas, I think.
Funny you would mention that, because I was thinking the other day that I'm going to make a mandala in the spirit of these
Uh-huh.
drawings. And it's like,
Mhm.
wow, that would be so cool.
Yes, it would. I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to seeing that.
So
Yeah.
that's on my list of things to do. So it was a pretty decent week. I'm on a news blackout so that I'm not getting upset about what's happening here, which is so devastating.
Yeah.
And it's not like it doesn't affect me. Even with a blackout, I still, get things in my mail, or, the latest headline about the next disaster that's going to happen in this country because of what's going on. Anyway, so that certainly has been one. It's been an impetus for me to look at my life and make some decisions about how I can get through the next 4 years and stay sane and not like make myself sick with worry or fear or any of that. And even just saying that makes me fearful.
Well, I think it's really important because I feel that is what happened so much the last time. And it's our responsibility to ourselves and to everyone else to not let that happen again. And I think that art, music, any of the creative endeavors are are the are one of the answers to that.
Yes.
Because when you think back on 2020, with COVID, and how so many people turned to creative endeavors, whether it was making bread or actually soaking their dry beans from the pantry, or whatever it was that they were doing, they were really involved with their daily life a little bit more. And we can, without even trying, we're giving so much more to our community, to our families, to our friends, to our loved ones, when we're being more full of who we are ourselves. And art can, for me, and so much of it is a meditation, but when I'm doing it, even though I'm all alone, I feel like I'm opening up. I'm not closing down, but I'm communicating in some way, and I'm just more open when I leave my studio to finding solutions for whatever it is, even if it's just me being anxious. So having a sketchbook practice or any kind of a creative practice, I think, is such a healing force as an individual, as a family. One person in a family acts creatively, and I think it improves the health of the whole family.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like my my impetus to do art has been, I feel like somebody lit a fire under me.
Good.
Because
Good.
I've got, I've been looking up how to make, I was going to go to a tunnel book class, and it got canceled because there weren't enough people. And so I'm like, well, that doesn't mean I can't figure out how to make a tunnel book. And so I've been online, looking at people doing tunnel books, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is so me.
That's great.
And it's like, I feel like I'm just so, like I've jumped into the stream, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to move.
Yeah. And you can float for a while if you want, but you're still getting somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about all of the things, and I'm so thankful for this group, because I feel like it's one of the things that has sort of got me moving more than I was, which is fabulous.
Yeah. Well, I think that we all feel a lot of support from this group.
Yes.
We all, I think, are going through our own kind of explosion of disasters. At the end of the year, then the holidays come, and that's always a stressful time, you know, as a kid, you just look
Mhm.
forward to it. It's, oh, it's going to be so great, you know, all these holidays and it just seems also beautiful and perfect. And as you get older and older, it's like, oh no, the holidays. And maybe I would feel differently, I'm sure, if I had grandchildren, because then I could get, you know, back into the making the cookies and not caring how long it takes to design them, you know, or the decorating and all, but it just seems to be a lot of work to me now. Because, yeah. Um, Jill, did you do any sketching or so?
No, no, I don't think I can claim to have done anything very useful.
Except you had a birthday.
I had a birthday and I had several celebrations, so that was good. Yeah,
Happy birthday.
yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Yeah.
Oh,
Suzanne,
yes.
did you do anything special in terms of sketching, stitching, collect?
You ask myself, yes, like Carol says, I feel I have a bit more energy. And I tell myself I do something no matter how bad it is.
No
Well,
judgment, no
I,
judgment.
yes, I had a cold, and so the grandchild couldn't come, and her slippers are always here, and so I drew her slippers in gouache.
Nice. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, I like,
Wow, those are great.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the way they go outside of the rectangle.
Mm.
They have such a
Yes.
feeling of like volume and especially the one on the, well, for me, the right hand side, the one that's more vertical, that one feels, it's like I could feel that shoe.
Yeah. And the sole, is it like a soft felt sole or a soft
Yes,
leather sole?
they are
Or-
very soft. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
they are very
well,
soft. The slippers. Yes, yes. And I bought a package from Toby Hasler all more than half a year ago, and I have a year to finish it. So I said to myself, I will start now.
good.
Yes, I tried um, some thumbnail sketches from the first drawing,
Nice.
the first picture
Wow.
he showed there
Nice.
with, yes. I'm not really so much in drawing buildings and urban sketches, not really, but I bought it and I thought maybe I should give it a try. I have to give it a try now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, are
And
you supposed to be working from his photographs or can you work from
yes,
anything?
yes, supposed to work from his photographs, yes. But I didn't post anything. I don't know if I will post or if I won't post. You know what Toby Hasler does for a living?
What?
He's a doctor. He
Huh.
works in a hospital, I think.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's
And
great.
I drew, I had some roses left in France and I drew just a rose, yes. But
Yeah.
Lovely.
the
That's
watercolor
busy.
is not, it's done very quick in the evening, but yes, I should not care.
No, I
Or
think
what,
it's free. It feels
yeah,
alive because it's not stiff. I
yes.
like the way you applied the watercolor.
I have a few cheap sketchbooks. Some I have to finish, and some I bought very cheap. And I drew a cactus too.
Mm.
Yeah, well, nothing special, but I did something, and
That
that's
was a
Seems
the
very
lot.
special
busy.
thing for me.
Yeah.
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 Excellent.
Yes, and I feel good when I have done something.
Good.
I feel better. Yes, that's all.
Well, we're going to look at Jessica Cooper. And I have the slideshow. And then I thought, if we have time, it might be fun if you have paper and pen or pencil handy. If we just take maybe 5 or 10 minutes while the simplicity of her work is fresh in our minds, if we look around our room, wherever we're sitting, and and see what we can do under the influence of Jessica Cooper, which means eliminating almost everything we see. So, following like our one mark thing, looking around and, if you look at an object and you decide you're going to draw and then you just start drawing it, without kind of, well, this happens to me anyway, without sort of connecting to the object. And so if you're going to be looking around your room, and I'm saying this now before we look at her work, because maybe you'll have that in the back of your mind, to really look and see what part of that object are you looking at? What part of that object grabbed your attention? Again, what is your focus? And you have to draw the whole thing, why not just draw the little glimpses of what was left in your brain after you saw it? If you're driving down the road and you're going pretty fast, even if you're going slowly, you're going fast. And then if you were to draw, not while you're driving, but the tree and the horizon as you remember it. So it's going to be very simple, so that's the approach. I haven't tried this yet. I was going to try it on my own first to see if this is worth doing at all, but we're all going to do it differently. So I think it's kind of worth the try, and then we can share what we did, and then that's it. Okay. All right. I'm going to share the screen, go through the movie first, and then we can go back and look at the ones that you want to. Here we go. There. Okay, so we'll wait for Jill to get back.
Sorry.
That's okay. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Jessica Cooper, the exhibit for this, it's a catalog of the intimate landscape.
It's not a book you can buy, no, huh?
You probably could from the gallery. It's from Belgrave St. Ives. It's right, Jill? Did we get it from a gallery?
Yes, and I'm sure I've got one, but I don't know where it is.
And you can go back and read this when you get the recording.
This is how I would like to draw.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. Just the most important and nothing more.
Well, that's why we're going to give it a try after we see this. And the more I look at these, the more and more and more I like them.
Godrevi Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. And she has this kind of dark rectangle in an awful lot of them. It was interesting putting the slideshow together, because when I could see them all at the same time, I saw the similarity of some marks.
They look like cut paper shapes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably, yes.
So they really made me think a lot. At first when I saw them, I thought, wow, these, they look like children's drawings on a refrigerator. And then I realized how by looking like that, they became very abstract, and they forced me to look around at things in an even more abstract way. And because they're so simplified and almost childlike, you really look at the shapes. If you love shapes and abstraction of shapes, that's what these are, and yet they're also representing something. And this, if you look, I mean, this is not just I didn't spill coffee on the book. Well, she just made me think so much. Imagine this without it. Imagine that sketch without that little circle there. Look at how different the shape of the water would be, and how powerful that little bit of color is. So she did a lot of these, and I read early in the week, and then my week kind of got topsy-turvy. So I'm not remembering exactly what I was reading about the repetition of this, but they are very different, each one, though they are clearly of the same image. And I love her use of the watercolor there. So what are your responses?
Well, I love them. Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
Because of their simplicity and their clarity, and well, they just work, don't they? But I think it's
so.
quite hard to make something work when it is so simple.
Yeah.
There's really good decisions there, isn't there? That the one on the right, where the horizon is. I mean, I know that view very, very well. I don't know what the black shape on the left, what do you think that's meant to be? Rocks or?
I think so. And I think that if you're on the other side, if you go past Porthmere Beach, and remember when I walked further down?
I mean, that's over towards Porthminster Beach, isn't it? Where you see God Revy, although you can see it from everywhere. Yeah.
And there are big, because I have photographs
Boulders.
of big cliff-like things.
Yeah.
With that in the background.
Yeah.
But even if you've never been there and you can't relate to it as a place, just looking at those shapes, and then I love that you got this big black shape on the left, and then you've got a mass being described by a single line where the mass itself is the same color as the sky, because it's made of that negative space shape, though it's a positive shape. That makes sense?
Yes.
This one.
Yeah.
It would be a completely different thing if this were colored in black. This not being colored in black makes you feel the expanse of the ocean behind it, I think. I don't know.
I really like that one.
Which one?
The right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like it's one of the strongest responses I got was from this one.
Yeah. Me too.
The other one, I don't understand it so well, or
To me, it looks like plants, but I don't know if it is.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
You're
really don't know
probably
what
right.
it is, but to me,
It's
that's three like heads of
Yeah, yeah, that could
flowers
be. Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure it isn't, but I don't know.
What does it say for
Going
the
back.
title? Going
as
back.
going back,
Uh-huh.
acrylic on canvas, and most of these are relatively small.
Mm. Yeah,
This is
33,
actually bigger,
30 centimeters is 12 inches.
right? And there are an awful lot that are 23 by 33.
Uh-huh.
This, whoops, I do like these too. I also love this one on the right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the one on the left too, but there's
Mm-hmm.
they, they went in my head, they went from being very childlike to being very sophisticated. And so I find this one with the trees, there's something that makes me feel like it's sophisticated. Not the one on the left so much, but I don't know why that word would come into my head.
Mm.
What about these?
I'm really not fond of the one on the right at all.
And why not?
I it's um I knew you were gonna ask me that. I guess because it's like my eye has nowhere to land on this one. It's like going forward and then back and then further back. But the image to me just doesn't, I don't know. I don't know why I don't like it, but I just don't, I just don't like I don't like the composition of it, I guess, is that the whatever that is in the front.
Yeah, if you
It
cover up
looks
the left side, do you like it better? If you
Cover.
cover that left side?
If I covered the left side, then it's not quite as disturbing to my eye.
Yeah. What about you, Suzanne?
it looks a bit like a preliminary sketch or to me.
I get the feeling that it's like this giant bug. The chair on the left, if that's what it is. Time to Eat is the name of it.
Got to be a chair. It's
Ah.
got to be a chair.
Yeah. And I think that
That's the
this is a
table,
chair
and
too.
that's the table.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What about the one on the left?
It's quite pleasing with the red and the green and the shapes. And the black adds something to it, to the border, I think.
I just wanted to double check. These are not collage at all. They're all pencil acrylic on canvas.
Mm.
On canvas. You said on canvas?
Yeah. Yeah. And what about these? Oops.
Mm. We could have a discussion one day as to whether titles are important.
Well, we've got that discussion right now.
when
Does
when
it
I was
have-
doing the Porthmeer program, Jilly, one of the artists, she was absolutely passionate that you shouldn't put titles on paintings.
Uh-huh.
But she's gradually changing her mind, and she just has admitted 2 years later that actually she started doing that. I do think it makes a difference to your perception
Uh-huh.
of what the artist is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But then does that stop your own response?
I
Do
think
the
it
art.
certainly changes it. I mean, does it matter what the artist was really saying?
Yeah, well, quite. That's why it is an area for discussion, isn't it, with artists?
Yeah. Because when we look at something, our brain automatically tries to figure out what it is because
Mhm.
it wants to be able to name it. And we've all experienced how people are more comfortable with abstract work often if they can say, oh, I kind of see a tree in
It's a
there.
cloud. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, we can't stop our brain from trying to make sense of things. But doesn't that, if we're confused because we wonder why in the world is this hanging in a gallery or in a museum, or
Mhm.
what was it that made the artist think this was successful, or you're immediately walking away from your own impression, your own feelings of
Mm,
what it
mm,
means to you.
mm.
And as artists, where we're looking at other people's work to be inspired, to be challenged, to learn things, it is pretty important to pay a lot of attention to your own response to it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
think that's it. I personally, when I look at something, I do have an almost immediate, oh, I like that, or I don't like that. And then I start thinking about why and what,
Mhm.
and that's where things like, what's the artist's intention? I mean, I prefer, if I were looking at those two images, I like to look at the one on the right more than I like to look at the one on the left. I don't say I don't like the one on the left, but there's something about the shape of those, I assume they're birds, I find pleasing, actually, sort of emotionally pleasing. They speak to me,
yeah,
whereas the other one, I find it attractive, but I want to start working out, is that the lines of a roof with tiles on,
Yeah. Mhm.
that wobbly orange line, and that's a tree, but what are those sort of, I can start to try to conceptually analyze it, but I like to look and enjoy straight away.
can you read the name or not?
No,
Okay,
not very well.
so the title is Too Hot Already to Sit Outside.
Right, okay.
And
Uh-huh.
one of the reasons that I'm presenting these as they are in the book, where you see both of them, is for the reason that you just mentioned, Jill, that when you see two, already you're more aware of your own reaction because you respond differently to the two all the way
Yeah.
through. All the way through. Look, one, sometimes you'll say, wow, gee, I really, which one do I like better? Sometimes it's really clear.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't like either one, you don't care.
Mhm.
But there's a comparison going on, and you notice simplicity more when there's one paired with it that's not quite as simple.
Mm.
The other thing about this one, I really love this one,
Yeah,
and
I do.
part of it
What's
is
that one
I love the
called, Chris?
texture of this
What's that one called?
wingspan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but sometimes we look at art and we're not looking at all at what it is, what it depicts, the composition. We're looking specifically at handling of materials.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
like when we're talking about the marks we made last week, where if we made it with charcoal, it's very different from making it with ink or with pencil, and you become more and more aware of the choices. This would be so different if I don't know if I can zoom in more here. The way the red is so broken up, the black is so solid.
Mm.
Well, that could have been unintentional, but then the artist saw it, liked it. And then if you thought, well, I really like this work, I'm going to do something like that, then your mark is actually, if you're trying to duplicate that, that's intentionally trying to duplicate it instead of it being a happy accident or something that you noticed. And nothing's wrong with any of that, but it's kind of important to realize that that's what it is, because then you become more aware of each mark you make on your canvas. Because you can't, a forger would have a really hard time duplicating this because of this looking like it's just, one or maybe two strokes, and the effect of the paper, the tooth of the paper grabbing a part of that. I think that's acrylic too. Acrylic, pen, and pencil on canvas. So, yeah, on this one too, I think that these are colored pencils when they say pencil. And remember, it's on canvas, so there is a toothiness to it. Did we look
That's the ones that I said I thought were cutouts. That one on the left in particular, to me, it looks like cut paper.
But I don't think it is.
No, but you know what I mean? That quality of roughly
Mhm.
cutting.
No, acrylic and pencil on canvas. And
Mm.
that, she does mention something, there is something mentioned about this. A box of peaches and a bottle of Hendrick's gin waiting under the black bamboo.
Oh, brilliant.
That's the name of that one. So those circles are the box of peaches.
Peaches. And that is a very distinctive shape of bottle, that particular gin.
The Hendrick's gin. Yeah.
Yeah, it is that shape. And then how wonderful. It's black bamboo, so it's white on a black background. It's fab, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I am going to read a paragraph from the first part now that we've kind of looked at it and discussed it a bit. It says, these new paintings present a key characteristic of Cooper's work, namely the purposeful and formally deliberate expression of a very brief moment of perception. A thing she sees hits some very particular inner button, and its depiction resonates forever afterwards. Looking at her work, we don't see what she was thinking, but we do see how it is that such moments occur, and thus how mind and memory can chime with extraordinary poignancy at certain moments with a glimpse of a tree, a house, a view of the sea. The titles she attaches to these beautifully clear paintings are simple but poetic, brief and tantalizing. They may describe, but they also point to ambiguities, as in, are we fishing? Or to the thoughts of the moment, such as a morning with you, or where it all started again. For Cooper herself, the paintings and their titles refer to really intense and specific memories. And it also says a little bit later, she knows better what she's doing in the studio. Oh, wait a minute. Working is integral. No, where was that I saw that? Oh, despite a lifetime of painting, Jessica Cooper is always uncertain of the outcome, of the coherence of an exhibition she has worked carefully to produce. Will it come off, she asks herself. Certainly, the present sense of a new freedom has involved a letting go of fear and even re-examining how to paint, how to express yourself. She knows better what she's doing in the studio, she says. Working is integral to her life and an equilibrium has been achieved. I'm going to have to think a lot more about some of these. We do have a little bit of time. Do you want to give this a go and just see what we do in 5 minutes time? Do you have pencil and paper handy?
Can get one.
Okay.
I can get one.
Right, Chris, do you mind if I don't? Because I've got to go and get the girls.
Yes, that's
Like,
fine. You
is
can
that
check in
okay?
with us. You can try it later and send me a photo. I can put it.
Yeah, I would love to. I
Yeah.
would love to. And I'll look at the recording to see what you do.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll
Um,
message you to find out, to tell
And
you.
let me know how everyone is.
Okay, I will do. Thank you
Great.
very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so you can pick anything or your whole room, whatever it is. And in about 5 minutes, we'll see what we've done. You can do more than one if you want, however many you want. How did you do?
I got one.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get something behind this to.
I have to finish mine because I drew the shadow of my cup here, and I want to make it a big black shape.
Okay.
For now, I have only I don't know if you see anything. I have only the outline.
Hang
And
on. Okay.
I'm not sure you see anything at all.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. So
Uh-huh.
so you
And
can,
I drew my cup there. That will remain a drawing, but maybe I will do it in red, or I'm not sure.
okay, great.
I-
Excellent.
But it's not finished. Yes, it's
But
merely
it
a
did make you
beginning.
think a little differently, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Carol, can we see yours?
So it's the lamp on my art desk and some brushes.
That's
Wonderful.
really, the lamp is really fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
much more fun than I thought it would be.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna play more with it too. I actually, I did 4 of them.
Wow.
This is, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we see. Yes.
okay. What is that? That's, it's a jug with this is a bone folder and it's filled with a lot of brushes, but I just put in one.
Uh-huh.
Second one, this one is my tripod that has the phone holder. This is the phone holder
Oh, cool.
attached.
Cool.
I love that one. That's great.
It was fun. This one is just the handle of a glass jar that has art things in it. And
Uh-huh.
this is part of a fountain pen. It's my least favorite.
Cool.
Actually, this is my least favorite. And this is this really wonderful feather, but
Uh-huh.
and talk about different materials. This has been left on the table from our mark making, but it was India ink, and I think the shellac in it or something, it turned a real goo. As I lifted it up, this long stringy thing came along with it. So anyway, that's what those are. I'm still planning on next week. So I'm not sure yet. There are a lot of books and a lot of artists that I want to share with you from the used bookstores I've been going through. But we'll just take it one day at a time. I will definitely meet up. I'm just not sure what we're going to do next Monday. I would like to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have all of those done. So you can do them on your own if you want. You can do them when I do them. We'll just see, okay? And then again, I want to I believe that I said the first week of every month we'll do a live studio session of some kind of mark making, some kind of, even if it's something like this. This was more fun than I thought, wasn't it? Yeah, I may go outside and play around with that too. And that's, it's another good use for our sketchbooks to do things like this where it forces us to look at things differently. And isn't that what we keep trying to do? We can formulate it in the studio into something that maybe we think more seriously about, but it does change the glasses we're wearing.
Mhm.
To think of it. And I thought it was, I think, Carol, you said you might make it a different color, and you were talking about making something red. Suzanne, I
Mhm.
felt the same way after, and she didn't use a lot of color in her sketches, but I think we all wanted to play with a spot of color somewhere. Well, I'm about to sneeze and cough at the same time.
Okay.
I'll say goodbye and see you maybe
Yeah,
tomorrow.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
Thank you very
care.
much.
Thank
Very
you.
interesting.
You're
Bye-bye. Thank
welcome.
you.
Bye-bye. Here it goes. Whoop.